Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Series Now episode of the Seattle Baseline Podcast. My name is Julian Smith, and I'm with Alex Hong. The Mariners defeat the Rangers 3 out of 4 in the series. Offense lights them up. Really good stuff from the Mariners. Caleb Ferguson looks really solid. Andres Munoz comes out in the ninth inning, shuts down the Texas Rangers. A lot of really good positives here. Alex, how do you feel about this team?
Well, hey Julian. Well, let's start with the forefront ultimate thing we asked for, and that was we asked for in the previous episode on this for the Mariners to win the series because this is big. Because if we went 3-for-1, that would actually give us a 2 game advantage, and if we had swept, it would have given us a 4 game advantage against the Rangers. So winning this series and against the Rangers is big because in regards to the wild card standings, and we did just that. So had to be pretty happy about that coming out with the series win against one of your division rivals, who we have historically been dominating. I mean, whenever Texas comes to Seattle, it seems like they can't do anything. So this is not beyond the unusual. But yeah, overall, I was pretty happy, I'd say, with the performance from the team. There were several aspects of the team that did play really well. Um, there's a few hitters I do want to call out for a positive. So first, it's going to be Cole Young. He had a really good series. He had that highlight reel long moonshot home run in the first game, so obviously that was really good. But yeah, he went 3 for 11 in this series with 2 walks. So and obviously the home run I just mentioned. So he's having himself a good series, and this is big because Cole Young. I mean, I assume whenever an opposing team they look at the lineup, they're not scared of Cole Young at all. But if Cole Young keeps it up, then he's definitely gonna put himself forward as someone who team should maybe even consider, like think about, like maybe watching out for when he comes up. And it's just good for his development in general. I mean, Cole Young, he's surpassed my expectations as a rookie, considering he is really young and this is his first season. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how he's been performing with the Mariners so far in the big leagues. What about you?
So with Cole Young, I actually have like there's a bunch of highlights, Cole Young highlights. He made that awesome play from second base, that double play. He hit that home run that you just mentioned. There's so many highlights, but the thing that really stood out to me was that 12 pitch walk that he had. That one where he fouled off so many pitches. A few of those foul balls were had the distance to be a home run too. So it's not like he was a one and done home run guy. He's he's hitting the ball with power to hit home runs left and right. And most of those were foul balls, and hopefully some of those turn into home runs, and then he'll become a massive threat for other teams. But that 12 pitch walk, that ability to fight off pitches, ability to see the pitches, everything was it encapsulates what Cole Young has been doing so far. And for me, that was the biggest highlight is to see Cole Young know what pitches to swing at. This is what he wants to foul off. Everything just clicking for Cole Young. I think he's turning the corner. I hope that Cole Young continues to do this from the next series and on, and he becomes a massive part of our team going into hopefully a playoff run.
Yeah, I totally agree. The other player I did want to mention is JP Crawford. He had a really good series against the Rangers. And we talked about how JP was struggling a little before the All-Star break and coming out of the All-Star break. He was definitely on a slump. And he did get moved to the bottom of the order, like eighth in the order. But ever since that happened, he's been on a roll. Like he had a really good series against Rangers. He had 2 crucial home runs. These weren't just like we were winning 10-1 and he hit an extra home run in the ninth inning. Like that doesn't really matter that much. But he had the walk-off home run. That's big. Obviously, a walk-off is crazy. And he had the go-ahead and game-winning home run in the last game of the series. So yeah, with JP Crawford, if because JP Crawford, usually when you think about him, he's more of like a singles guy or like a contact hitter. But if he unleashes another side of him and has a little bit of power, obviously he's not going to be like Cal Raleigh type of power. He doesn't need to be because his role is more fine as like a contact hitter. But if he does have the occasional power, that's going to be big, and that's going to boost his level of value to the team a lot if he can do that. So I mean, with Crawford, hopefully this continues and if he is officially out of his slump, that's going to be big because even now when he's at the bottom of the order, he's going to be setting up the top of the order big time when if he's on base, and it's going to give the team a big help.
Yeah, I speaking of that, I love the change that the lineup has made. A Rosarena at the top of the order with JP Crawford at 8. I think me personally, I feel like JP Crawford being at 8, producing at the 8 hole is more important than JP Crawford producing as a leadoff guy. Specifically because now you've got that whole area, 5 or 6 hitters that's all-star level, all the way from Randy to Jorge Polanco to maybe even Dom Canzone. You've got that like deep level of home run guys that can be all stars at any given season. And then you've got JP Crawford and Cole Young who are also producing at the bottom of the order. Now you bring that production, now you bring it to Arozarena. That's how you get the 3-run shots from your leadoff guy. That's how you get Julio Rodriguez now in the 3 hole. After all that production happened, now home run, score everybody. That's the big impact I think JP Crawford's having, and I'm stoked that he's a 8-hole hitter now, and I think this whole lineup is so much deeper, especially with the trades we made at the trade deadline.
Yeah, another player I want to mention is one of the newer guys is on the bullpen. So I quickly want to shift our focus to the pitching staff because I feel like the offense did pretty good overall, but Caleb Ferguson, he's new and he played a lot in this series and he did really, really well. So I am very excited to see if he can improve or if he could keep this up going forward because right now our like lefties wise in the bullpen, we have Gabe Spire, who's a pretty good leverage arm. And if Caleb Ferguson can keep this going, he's going to be another lefty leverage arm, which the Mariners are definitely not used to because the Mariners had a problem of they only have right-handed pitchers. I mean, our starters are only right-handed pitchers, so we've had this sort of issue in the past. But if we can solve this and Ferguson plays very well, there's going to be a big value to the team.
Yeah. His soft contact play really shined because, for example, players like Josh Smith, he's known for fouling off so many pitches, getting that contact. He's that pesky hitter at the top of the lineup that's going to see a bunch of pitches and give Corey Seager a good idea of how to hit that, like how to hit the pitch. This is what's coming. Go ahead and hit it. That's what Josh Smith's role is. Caleb Ferguson comes in. He gets the soft contact. So Josh Smith gets his usual contact, and all of a sudden, oh, he's out. That's Caleb Ferguson has such an amazing role in the Mariners. It's such an important role that I am so glad to have this guy in our bullpen. I think that this is the move that is quietly a game changer for the Mariners going into trying to go get into the playoffs and win a World Series.
Do you have anything else to add on this Rangers series by chance?
Yeah, speaking of the playoffs, I just talked about going into the playoffs and World Series. This is a series that you really had to win because now you're standing 2 games above Texas in the wild card spot in the third, as the third team in the wild card spot, and you have a little bit of breathing room. And this is where you've got to keep on going. You have a team that the offense can score runs against almost every pitcher, even some of the best pitchers they're scoring against right now. And so this team has a really good shot at winning the World Series. And by really good shot, it's some 15% at most. That's the amount of percentage most of the best teams have, but they're still in that conversation. If this pitching staff can get better and throughout the season, this is a lights out team, man. This is I think the Mariners are going to be really good. So beating the Rangers was amazing. And speaking of wild card spots, we're going up against the White Sox, who haven't been the White Sox hasn't been a good team for almost 2-3 years now. And so the Mariners need to take advantage of this team going into this series. I think the Mariners need to not just win the series, but they need to go for a series sweep. What do you think?
Yeah, this season in particular, there hasn't been too many teams that are atrocious, like really, really bad. But this White Sox team is one of the teams that can be considered really, really bad. And this is like a gift. You're not going to go, like I said, against that many teams that are pretty bad. This team is pretty bad, like I said. So we have to take advantage. And this is one of the teams where we can have the potential to expect a sweep because they are so bad. So we have to take advantage of this team. We got to come in there really strong. And especially because really good playoff teams are not going to be like every team is going to lose games. Like no one's going to win 162 games, right? But you don't really see the best teams in the league like the Dodgers last year like losing series to like teams like the White Sox. So I'm expecting us to play really, really well, especially on offense. Just in general, the White Sox have been struggling this year. They've been better than they were last year, and they've actually been pretty good outside the coming out of the All-Star break. But so were the Texas Rangers, and we took care of the Texas Rangers. So just because the White Sox have been playing pretty well lately, I still expect this team to do well because overall, as a team, if you just look at the team, there isn't that much talent on the team. So we definitely need to take advantage.
Yeah, especially because you have a team that's assembled to hit home runs. JP Crawford wasn't really supposed to be one of your home run guys. He's hitting home runs right now. Dom Canzone, he's playing as a contact guy right now, but he's got the power to hit it over the wall any day of the week. You've got Cole Young, who I didn't think he had this in him, but he goes and hits like a 450-foot home run. It's you've got a stacked lineup. This team can score out of nowhere. You don't even need people on base. You hit a home run and you instantly score. And so I am super excited for this series. The White Sox tend to have a decent pitching staff, not a good pitching staff, but they have a decent pitching staff. They have a few pitchers in there that are okay. And so if the Mariners can take advantage of this team, if the Mariners can score, the Mariners pitching staff can shut the White Sox down. I think this is going to be a good series for the Mariners. It's not a test in the sense that the White Sox aren't a good team, but at the same time, I think it is this test where how much can the Mariners play against these bad teams? How much can the Mariners dominate against these bad teams and then go on to face the good teams so that they can be competent against the good teams? That's what I think is the big key here.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the chances to really take a lead and pull away with those wild card standings, right? Because when we're going to go against really good teams coming up later this month, like the Mets or the Phillies, we can't really expect like the Mariners to be building a big lead on the wild card standings against really good teams. But against these really bad teams, we definitely have an advantage and be able because everyone goes against every team in the league, right? So if the Rangers, for example, took advantage and were beating the White Sox, but the Mariners didn't, that's like a big deal because we had a chance to do well against a really bad team, and like so did the Rangers, and that's what they took advantage of. Like the Rangers wins in the last few series, the reason why they've been playing so well, they were in a relatively softer part of the schedule, right? So the Mariners need to be able to take these softer teams and try to be able to take a big leap in these standings, or else if that's not going to happen, then that's how the Rangers can end up catching up to us, even if we do end up beating the Rangers. So it's important to win these games against some mediocre to bad teams.
Yeah. This overall, this Mariners team is a team that has a shot at winning the World Series. Literally, there is no team in the entire major leagues that's so significantly better than all the other teams. Even the Milwaukee Brewers, even though they have a 600 record and they're beating everyone in the major leagues, they're not that much better than the second best team. It's no team is that much better. No team is like all that. And so the Mariners have a clear shot. The Mariners need to take advantage of this team, as you just said. I think that this is a crucial series. Even though it's a bad team, it is a crucial series for the Mariners to step up and show the White Sox what it means to be a playoff team, what it means to be a World Series contending team that, quite frankly, TV stations are talking about right now. The You added Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez, and all of a sudden, everybody's talking about the Mariners. They just added the two best bats at the deadline. This is the team that we're talking about, and with if this pitching staff can start to regain that confidence, Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, Luis Castillo, George Kirby. Hopefully, Bryce Miller can come back. He's been having some rehab starts recently. This is a team that it had the super good pitching staff. Obviously, it hasn't performed as well this year, but this batting staff now is stacked. This team can win a World Series. That's it for me.
Yeah, same for me.
Yep. Hey, thank you everyone for tuning in. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our beautiful faces on YouTube. Check out our Instagram. And as always, go Mariners.
Go Mariners.